Hi folks, welcome to Tech Tips number 11. This week we're talking about pop bumpers and pop bumper bodies and pop bumper caps and lamp sockets and I don't know what else. What time is it? What did you do today, Ray? Why are we here? You know, those guys up the street they're in bed already and we're still working.
We're at the diner.
They're having extra dinner. They're at the all you can eat, I think. One of them is anyway, for damn sure.
No, while I was working.
What'd you fix today?
United Shuffle Alley, made 1948.
What was wrong with it?
It sat for 15 years. So, everything. Cosmetic, line cord all the way in.
What didn't you replace?
But it works.
Did you do the rebound rubber?
It didn't have rebound rubber.
Oh.
It has a puck return system with an indoor ramp that's...
Oh, get out.
Yeah, it's neat.
What was it called?
United Shuffle Alley.
That's it?
1948.
They couldn't come up with a better name than that? I'll have to look that up and see what that is.
Yeah.
Okay, well tell us about pop bumpers. You said you knew what you wanted to say, so go for it.
Well, they're described as jet bumpers, pop bumpers, thumper bumpers. It's a neat device. It's very pinballish because it discharges the ball in 360 degrees, and it's also actuated by 360 degrees, which is very unique because most pinball devices are only activated by a certain direction. You know, like a flipper or a slingshot, you know, or whatever. But these are 360 all around the radius. So that's kind of a neat thing. This is a skirt. This is what actually gets activated. There are different colors.
That's called a skirt.
Yes.
I call that, why do I call that a wafer?
You could call it a wafer.
I made that up.
Doesn't matter. It goes on...
Explain to people what that little the pointy thing on it is.
No, this is actually the activator.
No, the other pointy thing.
The other pointy thing.
Yeah, it's not circular.
Oh, this.
Yeah, that.
Yeah, this is to keep the ball from... If the ball doesn't trip this and it just rests on it, it's to keep the ball from sitting on here.
So that goes up.
Up. Yeah, and this is the actual activator spoon, which makes this work. It sits in a dish. This is plastic. And then there's a switch on the end of it. They're also tricky because they have a lamp that goes through them. So you have GI to light the bumper. And then, of course, there's a cap that goes on top of it. In the middle of it is the, and of course, you have a different style lamp.
I like those better.
This is the jet bumper ring. It goes in here like this. Let me get the lamp holder out of the way for you. Sits in here like this, and it has other linkage on the bottom. And what happens with it is when this is tripped, the switch activates the coil, and then this is pulled down pretty abruptly. And it actually pinches the ball between the wafer and the Playfield or skirt. And then it shoots it out. Pretty hard, so when you get your finger in here and you get pinched, it hurts.
Okay, so what are the differences among brands?
Well, most of the familiar ones are Bally Williams that came out, you know, in the 80s, the 70s. Not much has changed with this. This is the bracket that holds the coil. This would be underneath the Playfield, mounted underneath this assembly. And you have a connector link, and then a fiber link, and then you have your armature. You got plenty of those links. The armature goes here, and then this goes inside the coil, and then this whole assembly gets pulled down by the coil. And that's what a hole looks like.
Here's one right here.
Yeah, and this is the action you get out of it. It uses number 632 stop nuts, because this thing moves around a lot and things come loose. This is out of a 1989 Elvira. They actually had a plastic housing. They were trying this. They didn't really do it too much.
Well, we see the plastic housings in a lot of the Daddy-E's.
Yeah, they were on and off with
Segas.
these. Yeah, mostly you don't see it.
They're not the same, but they're similar.
Mostly you'll just see the holes for the rods to come down through the wood, and you won't see a big hole like this. You know, I don't know what was going on with their design about that kind of thing, but you know, these are different upper parts. They're different shapes for Bally early solid state. These are
Gottlieb used the big ones
later. Yeah. You know, there are two different lengths of these metal actuating rings. Some of them are short and some are long. And if you mix them up, they won't work right.
Well, you know, they look the same on camera, but one is a 1/16 of an inch shorter than the other.
Yeah, very, very, very different. Here, I'll show you. Very different.
Well, you know, if you put a straight edge across that, you could see it.
Yeah.
It ain't much a difference.
I think I gave you two different ones.
No, that's different.
Yeah.
Here, if you put a straight edge across that now, watch this.
Yeah, that is your difference. So make sure you get the right length because they will not activate right.
What is that to? NBA fast break. I can hardly wait to do that one.
There's also a little tiny spring that goes on this end.
Okay.
And when you put this together with the bottom plate, where is it? Where's my bottom plates? I usually don't have those because they usually don't break. I just reuse what I have.
That would be known as the base.
Yes. Base goes here. Spring goes in here.
Base, spring, wafer, or
Yes.
whatever. Skirt, body.
And these actually press together, sort of. And they're held together. This is how it works.
And there's your full assembly.
Yes.
Ring goes through, bolts through.
Yeah.
Okay, what are the common failures that you see?
These brackets break right here at the weld, or right here at the bend, and then the coil falls out.
That bracket's available.
Yes, that is a common failure.
Marco,
Bally
the usuals.
Yep. These break, they split here, and you lose power because it flexes everything. And if you leave this broke for long, it will break this.
It'll break your ring.
Yes.
It'll start messing everything up.
Mm-hmm. So that's a common failure I see is these links break, this will break, and these get dirty.
Well, they'll break too. The skirts will break.
Because this is facing up, they collect a lot of dirt here.
That'll break too.
Yeah, and they do break. And that'll bind this up. Now one problem with jet bumpers is most of your games, with the exception of Gottlieb, most of them, if this sticks on, it stays on. And the coil burns up, or it might trip the fuse.
After damage has been done.
Unfortunately, the transistor burns up. One or the other is going to fail. Gottlieb came out with pop bumper boards in their System 3 games. Their System 1 games were subject to that, actually. But their System 80s had a pop bumper board. It would fire once, and it didn't matter if you had the ring stuck down, it would not fire again.
So that's the purpose of the pop bumper board.
Yeah, it's a good idea. They continued it with their System 3s. Bally Williams never did that. New and old solid-state electronics, new stuff. If it sticks, the coil stays on, burns up the driver transistor. So you got to make sure these stay clean, and your ring and everything around it, there's no dirt under it, because you can't hardly. This is very close to the playfield. You can't see what's going on in there. It pays to take these apart and clean them and service them.
Yeah, the difficulty there is that you have to cut the lamp socket out to really get, you know, when we do a shop job here, I'm not against throwing out lamp sockets, so I just cut them out.
Right.
But for a homeowner, it's a little bit of, you know, it's a little bit of a pain in the butt to do the lamp sockets in these things.
Gottlieb came out with this also. They were trying to get away from this being broke, so they actually made it.
You bent it.
Yeah.
Made it stronger.
Mm-hmm. And they don't tend to break, and it'll go.
They still, I've seen them broken.
Yeah. Because this slams.
You stock it because it's broke.
It slams around a lot. but I have a lot of those, and I see them. What else to say about jet bumpers?
Some of the caps go up and down on a few of the Bally's, like the Elvira.
Yeah, this is hard to get anymore. I don't know. I thought they'd be remaking them. Yeah, the cap that goes on here goes up and down with it. I don't know why they did that.
Simpsons, the original Simpsons pin had the cooling towers. Did it? They might.
Yeah.
No, they didn't start it because this is older.
Right.
This
was
Elvira
way
is older, isn't
That's
it?
correct. Yeah, way older. Popeye Saves the Earth had these on. There was a few Bally's. I don't know why they went and did stuff different like that.
It's kooky. If anything, it actually makes the action of the jet bumper.
Yeah.
It affects it and negatively.
And then there was a third jet bumper type device. And it only ever showed up in one machine that I know of. Oh, that's a Stern Orbiter. It was the spin
that's
bumper.
not a jet bumper, but I do love.
I think I would classify it as a jet bumper because if a ball gets near it, it gets spun off and it scores.
Okay.
And it's a radial device, which is really neat.
It is really neat.
I mean, I wish somebody would incorporate that in something new. That is a radical. It's like a modified jet bumper, in effect. Instead of the ball going straight away from it, though, it spins it off. It's really neat. Neat idea. I think that's a cool idea.
Well, you know what? Let's time out. Let's cut away here. We'll be right back with you
Film.
just 1 second.
Yeah.
Okay, we're back. We didn't have to walk too far to find an orbiter. What, 15 feet?
Uh-huh.
This monstrosity here is an orbiter.
Yeah.
Ray, tell us about this little trinket here.
It's a spinning jet bumper, I would call it. It's really not going to be clamping the ball, but it spins it and it ball gets near it and it has an opto that checks speed difference and you get a score that way. And the only thing that's similar about this and a jet bumper or whatever would be that it's a radial device and it would score just like a jet bumper all the way around. And it would discharge a ball at any point all the way around. So it's similar but not quite. It's a neat device.
It spins at pretty high speed.
Yeah, it's a 115 volt motor.
And there's actually a circuit board here at
Shaded
the
pole motor.
at the device that and the way it scores is it senses a change in the speed.
Yeah.
And that's what trips the score on it.
It's a large device. I'm sure it could be made smaller, but it'd be a neat thing to do on a machine nowadays.
If you ask me, it's the only redeeming factor of this particular pin. Oh my, it's so
it has
terrible.
drop targets, Mike.
It's the worst pin. Anybody out there want to vote for a pin that's worse than Orbiter? I want to hear your idea because I can't come up with anything. I don't even really consider this a pinball. It's a novelty, goofy thing.
Me too. I would vote that way.
But that was a neat idea. You know, if he never supplies us with the parts that we need to finish this job, I'm going to take those off and I'm going to put them on roller disco out there. I don't care. All right, what else do you got? We're putting the spinning orbiter. He calls them pop bumpers. We're gonna put them on roller disco.
Spin bumpers now.
The spin bumpers are going on roller disco.
This is an example of where the Bally jet bumpers went, and this is what the plastic plate fills in. Most of your other pins didn't use that big of a access hole. This is an example of.
Yeah, they need to be removed and cleaned under still.
Right. This is an example of an early Stern, and you can see where they had another idea.
Yeah, idea number 3. All similar in design, just different shapes.
Right. And that's what you don't want to see, a stuck ring. Generally, activating it by hand is not the correct way to check it anyway.
So how do you, can you show us how this is adjusted properly down here? If you're just looking to tune up your pop bumpers at home.
Yeah.
You're not taking the whole machine apart, but your pop bumpers are a little bit lazy, or you know, the ball hits it and nothing really happened, but they're working, but not really very well. What do you do? What's a quick service on that?
I would probably take it apart first. You can tell this link is broke because it's floppy. This metal link is probably broke here. But you would take the 2 screws off down here, and then the coil would come out. These are 5/16, and you take these out and take the bracket off and check and clean all that. This here is your switch, and you might notice it has a little point. It's not just a bracket. This point is to give you a reference to adjust. It's like a pointer. When you loosen these two screws, this bracket has an oblong hole. This thing will move all over the place, this bracket or this switch assembly bracket. That's where you want to line up. The spring that you seen earlier actually puts tension on the rod thing, and that's what, between that pushing down and this pushing up, is what gives you your tilting action, and it restores to center. You want the rod to be in the center of the cup, and that's what this adjustment is for. You can lose a lot of action, and it could stick if you get it off to where the rod gets out of the cup.
It's off center, yeah.
Yeah, and these cups they have a deliberate upside all around, and if that wears off by this slamming into it, and the rod is allowed to ride over the end and lock it on, that's not good. So you got to watch. That's why I suggest taking these apart and taking a look at things.
Yeah, see how everything is. You know, you're going to want to put a new coil sleeve in there while you're there.
That's more action is gained by that. That's correct. That's why you take these apart. So if you do a little bit of maintenance on this,
clean your switch and make sure that it's adjusted as close to touching as possible. What do you want in there? 10,000ths?
yeah, air gap. It's a matter of preference. Some people like them really sensitive. Some don't.
I like them as sensitive as they can be. If I'm touching the pop bumper, I want
go
them to
10 or 15. Yeah, and you want to use 600 sandpaper, or a business card, because these are gold contact points. You don't want to file them.
Oh shoot!
If you file them, you knock off the gold, and then you're down to the tin or zinc, and that oxidizes quicker, and then you lose action. So if you're going to clean them, if you are going to use a metal file, do not lean on it hard. Just real easy with it, because some of these metal files are like fingernail files. They're very fine, so you're really not going to tear it up unless you really pinch this leaf switch while you drag the file across. If you just go gentle, you'll be all right. But these are gold plated.
Business card.
Yeah. 600 grit sandpaper. Business card's nice, because you're just cleaning dirt off of them. They clean up pretty well that way.
I adjust them to the point where, if I bang on the Playfield,
they go off.
And they go off, they're a little too tight.
Yeah.
Or if I'm playing it and I'm hitting one pop bumper, and when it's firing, another one's firing with it.
Yeah, you don't want that.
I'm too close. That's not good.
No.
But I want to be about as close to that point as I can get without that happening.
Yeah, because it gives you good action.
Okay. What else do you have about pop bumpers?
I think that's about it as far as servicing them. Parts are all available for them. Take a visual of them. They're always hard to get to. They're put in the top of the playfield where you can't get to some of the stuff, so people ignore them. So you're probably going to have parts ready if you're going to rebuild the things. The spoons.
They're all common, and they're all the associated parts are probably, I'm guessing, super cheap.
Yeah,
even the bracket? The bracket's probably $8 maybe.
Yeah, it's a device that really makes a pinball over all the devices that are on it. It's a unique piece.
Okay, Jimmy, where you at?
Back here.
Okay, trivia. Name, I don't know how many there are, but name 3 pins that do not have a pop bumper. Go.
Junkyard.
Okay, that's one.
No fear.
No fear is another. Get one more. There's one in the showroom. It's not in the showroom though, but it's out front. It's in the office area.
That's not a pinball. Oh, Electra.
Electra, that has no pop bumper. So there's 3 pinball machines that are not pinball machines.
Interesting. Well, we got to add
Ray
that.
also says real pinball machines only have 2 flippers.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Well, Blackwater's out. Haunted House is out.
Haunted House is way out.
Haunted House is way out. Okay, that's all you got on pop. Did he miss anything, Jimmy?
Not that I know of.
You can't shout out to Jimmy this week because he's here.
Yeah.
So you should have somebody you want to say hi to that's watching these videos.
Do I really?
Yeah.
Are you serious?
Hi, Brenna. I'll say hi to Brenna.
Well, I didn't ask for your opinion.
I'll
Yeah, I like his opinion. Hi, Brenna. Hey, he counts, man.
Okay, well, we'll shout out to somebody.
Sean Roofer.
Does Sean Roofer watch the
I don't
videos?
know if he watches. Let's give him a shout out anyway.
Okay, we got to. He's
He
been
should be coming down.
he's
soon.
been hiding. Yeah, I don't know. We'll say hi to Sean. Ray says the Elvira is going to be done within a week. What are we talking about
I'm
next
thinking
week?
this weekend.
This weekend.
Don't have parts.
What do you mean we
no,
don't have
no,
parts? We have parts.
complications.
We got parts. There's a truck full.
Complications.
It's a truck full of parts out there. What do you want to talk about next week? I've had some suggestions.
Well, throw one here. Let me have it.
Well, I've heard batteries and battery holders. The guy said, and if I remembered his name, I'd shout out to him. Shout out the guy. I'm going to remember your name and say hi to you next week. He said that a lot of people don't know that their pinball machines even have batteries in them.
Yeah, they
although I feel that if you're watching these pin videos, you probably had better know. But we can. But that's still an option. Is yeah, I know you're using lithiums almost on everything at this point. But you replace battery holders. You don't do that hokey solder it into the board.
No, that is
thing.
a good point. Let's go over
And,
battery holders
we
and
can,
batteries.
We can do
What
that.
they do, why they're needed.
Multimeter tips, how to use
Yeah, we still got multimeter on the table there somewhere.
Goes to the LEDs somebody asked for.
Oh yeah, I don't even want to talk about LEDs. Yeah,
Let's do that.
we're gonna. Which one? He says
Batteries, meters.
we're gonna go dual. We're gonna do batteries and meters next week.
Multitasking.
Multi-tech tips.
A twofer.
Pin for Sunday, we're going to do junkyard. We got a junkyard coming in here. It's going to be coming to market. We already did a refurb job on it, a few months ago. So we'll do a field shop on it and have it ready for Sunday's pin video. I can't hardly wait to try to beat it. Thing's vicious. I guess that's all I got. Appreciate you watching, everybody. Thanks for tuning in.
Show them the party monsters.
There's Jim's excited about his party monsters. Yeah, we'll show this when it's finished, but we're gonna have to use some sensor tape on it because it's got some
Custom work.
It's got some custom features on it that.
Custom Playfield, custom.
It's real world.
Yeah, it's got an Art Winner Playfield. We're about done with this Playfield swap. Here, can I look at this without catching anything dirty? Here, I'll just come down this section here. There, that's censored. Anyway, we'll show that to you coming up real soon. Thanks everybody. Bye-bye.
Take
See
care.
you later.
Jimmy says, "Come over Grimace, I'm out."
I'm out.
Thanks everybody. Goodbye.
Cold beer.
Hi, we hope you've enjoyed this video. If you haven't already subscribed, what are you waiting for? Want to know what's coming next? Go like us on Facebook right now. You can keep up to date with all of us here at the shop and what we've been up to. Thank you for watching.